IKEA is the company that turns everyone into an engineer. You build your own kitchen, you build your own bed, and now, why not build your own smart home? IKEA built its smart home lineup around affordable Zigbee devices. And now they're moving to Matter. No hub required, more compatibility, the future, right? So I bought these, the MYGGBETT Matter door sensor and BILRESA Matter double button. But here's the thing. It doesn't really matter whether they're Zigbee or Matter if you don't know how to actually use these devices. Because the door and window sensor looks simple. It just tells you open or close. But in reality, this might be one of the most powerful devices in the entire smart home. In this video, I'm not reviewing this. I'm going to show you real use cases, how you can turn this into a security system, how you can trigger alarms, and how this tiny sensor can control multiple things in your home. And later we'll also have a look at how IKEA is expanding its Matter lineup beyond just this device. I'm Alex, welcome back to Smart Life, and let's start with the most obvious use case. Now, let me show you one of the most powerful use cases for a door and window sensor, and that is security. I placed one sensor on my front door, installed a few on some windows, and added another one on my back door. If any of them open between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m., triggers a siren in the house. At the same time, my Sonos lamp turns red as a visual alert. And even though we'll be showing this in Home Assistant, the logic applies everywhere. Before I explain the automation, you might have noticed the BILRESA Matter button as well. Later in the video, I'll show you the important role it plays in the setup. But before building any alarm automation, we need something very important, to create a helper, which I named Alarm Mode. To do this, we need to go to Settings, Devices and Services, and on the right hand side corner, you have the option Helpers. Click on it and then Create Helper and look for drop down. I named it Alarm Mode. You can name it whatever you like. And we need to create some options here. I created Disarmed, Night, and Away. You could add as many as you like. Then save. Now, very important, Alarm Mode does not arm anything by itself. It's just a control state. Think of it as the brain switch we will use inside our automation. This state can be changed manually from the dashboard by pressing a button like the BILRESA or automatically at certain time, for example, switching to night mode at 11 p.m. Later, you could even set it to away when you leave the house. Next step. We want something simple. If the door opens and the alarm mode is night, then the siren should trigger and the smart light should turn on red as an optional feature. That's the logic. So let's build the automation. We need to go to Settings, Automations and Scenes, and create a new automation. Now we start with the trigger. In my case are the two door sensors. Front door sensor and the back door sensor, and these need to be opened. Now let's add the condition, the alarm mode we created earlier. On the AND IF section, click Add Condition. Then choose Entity. Then click on the state and type in the name of the helper, in my case alarm mode. Then on the state section choose night, and this means the automation only triggers if you are in night mode. Now we move to the then do section. Click add action. First we'll trigger the siren, and then choose device and find your siren entity and select the action turn on. That's the sound alert taken care of. Next, let's add a visual alert. Click Add Action again. This time choose Perform Action. Search for light and select Turn On. Now click Add Target and choose your smart light. If your light supports RGB colors, you can go into the Color section and set it to red. That way, when the alarm triggers, not only will the siren sound, but your room will immediately turn red. This makes the alert impossible to ignore. And that's it. Now, whenever the door opens and the alarm mode is set to night, your siren activates and your light turns red. Simple logic, very powerful result. Now don't forget to save your automation and give it a name. Right now, alarm mode only changes manually, but a real security system shouldn't depend on remembering to arm it every night. So let's automate the brain. What I've done is very simple. At 11 p.m., alarm mode automatically switches to night. At 6, it switches back to disarmed. And I'm not doing anything complicated here. It's just a time trigger. To create this automation, for the system to arm at 11 p.m., we need to do this. when the time is 11 p.m., and then for the actions. Then do and choose Perform Action. Type Input Select and choose Select as an option. Choose Alarm Mode as target and set the option state to night. And the automation for disarming at 6 a.m. has the same logic, but instead of setting the alarm mode to night, you choose disarmed. And that's it, because now the entire security logic arms itself every night. And in the morning, your house goes back to normal. You don't have to think about it, and that's what smart automation really is. Now, remember this. This is where the BILRESA Matter button becomes very useful. Let's say it's midnight, and you quickly need to step outside. If the alarm is already in night mode, opening the door would trigger everything. So instead, you press the button, one press temporarily switch alarm mode to disarmed, no siren, no red lights, you go out, you come back, and the system can automatically return to night mode after a few minutes, or you press the button again. This is something I really like about IKEA's approach. It's simple hardware, but when combined with logic, it becomes flexible. And because both devices are Matter, you can do this in Home Assistant, Homey, Apple Home, or pretty much any modern platform. But security is just the obvious use case. A door sensor can also turn on hallway lights when you arrive home, pause heating when a window opens, trigger cameras, or send notifications, or even start a scene. And IKEA clearly understands this. They're not just releasing one Matter device, they're slowly building a lineup. And what's interesting is this shift. For years, IKEA relied heavily on their Zigbee ecosystem. Now, they're embracing Matter. No more being locked into a single hub. More compatibility, more flexibility, and honestly, for a company that sells furniture, they're doing a surprisingly good job in a smart home. So, what do you think? If you're already in the IKEA ecosystem, these are easy additions. If you're building a Matter-based smart home, they make more sense. They're affordable, they're simple, and when you combine them with automation logic, they become powerful. But remember, it's not about Zigbee, it's not about Matter, it's about how you use these devices. I'm Alex, this is Smart Life, and if you want more real smart home tips and reviews, subscribe and leave a comment with your IKEA smart home device experience. And I'll see you in the next one.